Well, it was Brentford that took the lead in the game then in the 18th minute, Cass. And this is a stat that I think is pretty impressive from a Brentford perspective. It's the 25th time that they have gone ahead in a Premier League game, and they have won 18 of those. They have not lost a game when they've opened the scoring in the Premier League. That's pretty impressive. That's kind of, surely that is that down to in-game management, would you say, from Thomas Frank, perhaps?
Well, I don't know. I can't work out how Brentford do this so often. They were 2-0 up against Spurs, playing really well. And okay, they get pegged back. They've beaten Man City away this year. They've beaten West Ham away, and it's like, this team has not. I thought, and I know he's got an injury, Ivan Toney, but I thought this year this would be a real test. Come up to the Premier League, do really well. Nearly everyone's doing as well, not if not better. You know, Ivan Toney's getting goals. What's he on there? 11 Premier League goals? 12 Premier League goals this season?
Well, that's 12 goals in 17. Well, I think he's only played 16. I might be wrong. Might be 17.
Yeah,
but 12 in 16, 17 games.
What a return. And from the player that came, you know, not so long ago, he was at Peterborough. He come out to prove himself to be good enough in the Championship. He excels in the Championship. Then he takes that to the Premier League with everyone looking at him going, not so sure, me included. How are you going to do in the Premier League? And he had a great season last year, and this year he's had an even better one so far.
And we are waiting news on the injury that he picked up. It was very late on in the game, but it was an injury that saw him stretchered put on a stretcher. We know when they bring out the little cart, and he had to be on the cart and had to be stretchered off in that game. So it could be a knee injury. Not quite sure yet. We await to see. I know he's tweeted about it, hoping for good news and hopes to be back involved as soon as is possible. But that will be a massive blow to Brentford because he has been such a talisman for them. In fact, if you look at his achievements in 2022 alone, we're just talking about this year, he is the third player to have scored 20 plus goals in the Premier League. That's after Harry Kane, who's got 26 in 2022, and of course Erling Haaland, who's just been so emphatic for Man City already just this season. But 20 plus goals from a player that you're saying a lot of people discounted. A lot of people said he couldn't make the step up, but he's done that.
Not good enough for England.
No. No, certainly not.
But he certainly played well enough to be in there.
And do you know what? He, again, look, we all know there's this betting charge, and we can't really, we don't know too much about it, so we can't speculate too much about it. But there is a betting charge that we know that he has to face, which will obviously impact him should he be found guilty and should it be banned? Should he be banned? But his impact in this Brentford side is massive. What he does on the ball, off the ball, his defensive work, his build-up play, everything he does is so... A lot goes through him in this Brentford side. And he's just... For people to even question his ability in the Premier League, I think is balmy because he does so much for this team. Well,
it does help when... And I'm sure your manager would say the same thing. He's really fortunate he's got a great bunch of lads. You know, sometimes you can walk into a dressing room and you can get a bad vibe. Players are not doing what they should be doing, you know, and the vibe at Brentford is completely different. This feels like a really good group that he's managing, Thomas Frank, getting the best out of them, and there is some self-motivation going on at the club as well with the players. And that is why they're still doing so well. There's been no drop-off. I keep thinking Brentford are going to have this drop-off. And they've had their periods. Look, they're not going to win, obviously, an endless run of games. But the drop-off has been short-lived. It's always they bounce back.
Yeah.
When they do have a couple of dips in a performance, you know, we've seen them now. You were earlier in the season when they had a couple of defeats. You know, and you were a bit concerned, and Brentford looked like they were going to be a bit rudderless this year, and then straight back at it again.
Well, it's always nice to talk about Brentford when they win.
Game Day Breakfast with Natalie Sawyer and Tony Cascarino. Saturday mornings from 6 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.